Hey everyone, how you doing today? And welcome back to my channel. Now today we're going to be talking about PlayStation because I haven't talked about that in a minute. I don't think I've talked about games in a very long time. All I've done is just reactions to E3. I haven't done a review for any 2021 game. Yeah, I haven't done it for any. So hey, here's my first one. It's going to be Ratchet Clank Rift Apart, and I'm very excited because I'm actually very surprised about this game, and I'll explain more in a bit. So what is Ratchet Clank? If you don't know, it's a platforming shooter type game. I believe that's what you call it. It's a platform shooter or mascot shooter basically, and it came out ages ago. I think like 2002. And I remember when I was younger, I knew about Ratchet Clank, but it was one of those PS2 franchises I just never played. Like, I don't know why. With my PS2, I was very like bad with it. I had a PS2. I played games. I played some notable games. But I didn't play a lot of like the bigger ones, like a Jack and Daxter or Ratchet and Clank. Like, you know, you should be playing those type of games, right? And I just wasn't. The only game I played in the PS2 era of Ratchet and Clank was Ratchet and Clank 3, and I only played it for a tiny bit because someone borrowed it from Blockbuster. I don't even remember who the person was. I remember I played a little bit of that and the multiplayer, and I thought it was really, really cool. And I remember when PS3 came out, and I already moved to Xbox at this point, and I saw Ratchet and Clank Future, and I thought, oh my god, I actually really want Ratchet and Clank Future, but I never got PS3. So I had been wanting to dabble into Ratchet and Clank, and then Ratchet and Clank 2016 came out. So I got Ratchet and Clank 2016. I played it for a bit, and I'm like, all right, I'm having fun, but I don't know why I just never finished 2016. I didn't hate the game. I just never, I don't know, it just didn't feel like fluid. I don't know what it was about 2016. Like, it's a good game. It's a great game. I'll probably end up finishing it one day and I'll be like, wow, great game. It's just like, just didn't finish it. So I saw the PS5 event and I saw Rift Apart, and I looked at it and I thought, okay, this is actually looking pretty good. I might want to play this, and I picked it up, and I have absolutely no regrets because this game is absolutely fantastic. This game is fantastic. I'm really impressed that Insomniac is making games on this level, like on a consistent basis. Like, they have not flopped in a while. Like, Insomniac has really been doing a great job. Where this story starts, well, I'm not the biggest Ratchet Clank fan, so I won't be able to tell you exactly about this whole story. I'm not gonna lie to you, but from what I know from this game, it's like Ratchet and Clank, they've done many missions. They're heroes. They've retired from doing all this hero work because they're like, you know, we've kicked butt too many times. But one thing that has been on Ratchet's mind is, how do I find my other species? Like, he's the last of his species, and Clank gives him a dimensionator or a dimension weapon in order for Ratchet to go and find the species. So they try to do this on the celebratory party, but the villain, which is called Dr. Nefarious, takes the Dimensionator and splits all these dimensions and causes hell on Earth. At this point, Ratchet Clank gets split into another dimension. Ratchet and Clank get split up, and then Clank finds the alternate version of Ratchet called Rivet, and that's basically how the story of Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart goes. First things first, I have to talk about this. Like, I think it's the most important thing in the whole game. Well, not the most important, probably the most noticeable thing in the whole game is that this game is flipping beautiful. Oh my god, this game is a legit, like, I think everybody has said this already and I'm gonna repeat it, but yeah, it is a playable Pixar movie. It's actually very crazy, especially in fidelity mode. In fidelity mode, this game looks unbelievable. Like, we've come to the point where games are like, the graphics in games, it's kind of getting stupid, especially with the ray tracing. It was ridiculously beautiful, especially when you see like the fur off Ratchet or Rivet. It's mad crazy how detailed the graphics are. Like, this might be the most beautiful game I've ever played, honestly. And obviously it makes sense because it's PS5, but man, oh my god, I can't even stop smiling thinking about the beauty of this game. This game, it has different modes. It has a fidelity mode, which is 4K ray tracing, 30 frames. Performance mode, which is, I believe it's 1080p, or either low res 4K or 1080p. I can't remember which one, but it's 60 frames guaranteed. Then there's ray tracing fidelity. So no, not ray tracing fidelity, ray tracing performance. So what that is the ray tracing from fidelity, the 60 frames of performance, but the lowest looking graphics. I played some of it in fidelity, some of it in performance. Then I tried ray tracing performance for a bit. I don't know why I didn't like the graphics too much. It wasn't much different from performance. I don't know why, it just looked different in my eye. So I switched all the way back to fidelity to finish the game, and that's just how I played it. And I'm not gonna lie, fidelity is absolutely beautiful, But the reason why I did fidelity first is because I think I'm going to play performance anytime I ever replay this game, because performance is actually crazy. Like, playing this game at 60 frames per second, 60 frames per second is absolutely beautiful. Like, I just think it works. Yes, you won't get the ray tracing, but if you want the gameplay, definitely play it performance. If you want the ray tracing, just play it fidelity. I don't know about RT performance. I didn't test it that long, so I wouldn't know, but maybe you should try it as well, because you might get the best of both, and it might just be the best option. In terms of the story, I really like the story, but I will say one of my cons is that it does get a little bit too nice of a story. Like, stuff is happening in the story and it actually is pretty interesting, and that's why I really like the way they told Rivet's story, because it's basically not a reflection, but another version of Ratchet's story. Even though I barely played Ratchet and Clank games, right, I do know more or less about Ratchet and Clank's story, mainly because, you know, I played 2016 and the beginning happened, even though some people complain about it, but that's another talk for another day. But I really like the way they told her story. To be honest, this is actually more her game than Ratchet's game. I think they should probably call this game Rivet and Clank, because that's pretty much what the game is. Granted, it's half Ratchet, half Rivet that you're playing as, but it just feels more like Rivet's game. And because of that, I do wonder how involved is she going to be in the franchise in the future, especially with this game like being as big as it is. Like, let's be real, I don't think people were talking like about Ratchet and Clank as big as they are right now. So I wonder if she's going to be very important for like the future of Ratchet and Clank series. So if she is, that's cool. It was a very good way of introducing her, and I can't wait. Like, I actually really like Rivet. Like, she was the best character in the game, so I can't complain about that. In terms of Ratchet and Clank, I really liked their dynamic, but like, I wish I had more, but I get why we didn't have more, because this is them after many games, many games of story. So I get why there's not that much to talk about. I wish I saw more, and I hope they talk about more in the future. Other than that, the gameplay itself, fun. That's all I can say is fun. Imagine Mario and Doom mixed together. That's basically the gameplay of Ratchet and Clank. So the gunplay is well, I wouldn't say flawless, actually, that's a lie. I would say that the gunplay is pretty top tier, especially with the DualSense as well. Like, when you press any of the triggers with the guns, and even when the bullets are firing and you feel it on the actual pad itself, it is so awesome. And this is what I want for PS5. I want more DualSense features. Like, please, guys, whatever PS5 you're making, make those DualSense features active, because Ratchet & Clank's DualSense features are so much fun. Pressing on a gun halfway does something usually, and usually it has that like vibration as well when you press on a gun halfway and it does something. Like, maybe you get a shotgun, you press halfway, you shoot one barrel and you feel it. It's flipping awesome. Music as well in this game is fantastic. I found out he's the composer of this composed Thor Ragnarok, and you can kind of tell, and it fits this game so well. Like, there were so many tracks when I was just jamming to. I was like, damn, like, this game has some fire music. I didn't expect this from a Ratchet and Clank game. So all in all, Insomniac has made a fantastic game. Like, I really do love what they did with Ratchet and Clank, because let's be real, Ratchet and Clank is not the biggest like of the franchises in Sony's library. I mean, when you think of platformers, right, you usually think of a certain Italian plumber with a big moustache with an M on his head. You don't really think of anybody else. I actually stole that from my friend, let me not lie about that. That was a joke from him. So it's really hard to get into the platformer market like that, because like Nintendo are like the goats in it. Mario is the goat, the pioneer, the walker, the inspiration, the guy who does platformers. It's cool that we're trying to get back to that era where like platforming mascots are starting to come back. We see Crash, we see Spyro, now Ratchet. So maybe Jak and Daxter. I want to try Jak and Daxter. I want to try Sly Cooper. Maybe those guys come back too. At least this is cool for Insomniac and for Sony, because that means Insomniac, right, who is already a banging developer. Can we just talk about that? Like, I think Insomniac is coming for Naughty Dog one day. I think maybe in like 10 years or maybe 15, but they're coming for Naughty Dog one day. The fact that they care about this franchise, they brought this franchise back, and they brought it back in a very big way. Like, this was a full price $70 game, like compared to the other one, which was like what, like 40. Like, this, they were joking about with this one. And the fact that Insomniac are still trying to make like top tier games, like that's their game, that's their plan. It's just about fun and all this dimension stuff. It makes me, number one, excited for the future of the Insomniac games and Sony and their collaboration. But number two, Spider-Man 2, are we getting a multiverse type game? Interesting. So anyway, let me just give the score. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. This game is amazing. Definitely a contender for Game of the Year so far. Out of the games I've seen and some I've played, this is the only one I've reviewed, so of course Of course, it's the only one that's game of the year. I'm really, really excited for the rest of this year with gaming, and man, I think 2022 is going to be a madness, but I'm really happy for Insomniac that this game is as well as it did, and I'm happy for Ratchet and Clank and the fans that they got their franchise back. Like, they're actually gonna be part of Sony's like collection now, like properly, not just like straggling on, like hoping and praying it comes back in a good way. No, it's back now. Have you played Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart? Have you not? Let me know in the comment section. I am open to discussion. Thank you very much for watching again. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel for more pop culture and entertainment. Have a great day, stay safe, and I'll see you soon. All right, bye.